really excited. "Do you know what it's made of?" I wanted to say silly putty. He's always testing me. Whenever we go on a trip, he always asks me a million questions like that. I don't think I've ever answered one right. "Some kind of stone?" I answered. "That's right." He smiled at me, then turned back to his book. "It's made of limestone. Limestone blocks. It says here that some of the blocks weigh up to 1,000 tons. "Whoa," I said. "That's more than you and Mom put together." He turned his eyes from the book and frowned at me. "Not funny, Gabe." "Just kidding," I said. Dad's a little sensitive about his weight, so I try to tease him about it as often as I can. "How do you think the ancient Egyptians moved stones that weighed 1,000 tons?" he asked. Quiz time wasn't over. I took a guess. "In trucks?" He laughed. "Trucks? They didn't have the wheel." I shielded my eyes and stared up at the pyramid. It was really huge, much bigger than it looks in pictures, and much drier. I couldn't imagine how they pulled those big stones across the sand without wheels. "I don't know," I confessed. "I'm really thirsty." "No one knows how they did it," Dad said. So it was a trick question. "Dad, I really need a drink." "Not now," he said. He squinted at the pyramid. "Gives you a funny feeling, doesn't it?" "It gives me a thirsty feeling," I said, trying to get my point across. "No, I mean it gives me a funny feeling to think that our ancestors, yours and mine, Gabe, may have walked around these pyramids, or even helped to build them. It gives me kind of a chill. How about you?" "I guess," I told him. He was right. It was kind of exciting. We're Egyptian, you see. I mean, both sets of my grandparents came from Egypt. They moved to the United States around 1930. My mom and dad were both born in Michigan. We were all very excited to see the country our ancestors came from. "I wonder if your Uncle Ben is down inside that pyramid right now," Dad said, shielding his eyes from the sun with one hand. Uncle Ben Hassad. I had nearly forgotten about my uncle, the famous archaeologist. Uncle Ben was another one of the reasons we had decided to come to Egypt over the holidays. That, and the fact that my mom and dad had some business to do in Cairo and Alexandria, and some other places. Mom and Dad have their own business. They sell refrigeration equipment. It usually isn't very exciting, but sometimes they travel to neat places like Egypt, and I get to go with them. I turned my eyes to the pyramids and thought about my uncle. Uncle Ben and his workers were digging around in the Great Pyramid, exploring and discovering new mummies, I guess. He had always been fascinated by our ancestors' homeland. He had lived in Egypt for many years. Uncle Ben was an expert on pyramids and mummies. I even saw his picture once in National Geographic. "When are we going to see Uncle Ben?" I asked, tugging Dad's arm. I accidentally tugged too hard, and the guidebooks fell out of his hands. I helped him pick them up. "Not today," Dad said, making a face. He didn't like to bend over to pick up things. His stomach got in the way. "Ben's going to meet us in Cairo in a few days." "Why don't we go up to the pyramid and see if he's there now?" I asked impatiently. "We're not allowed," Dad replied. "Look! Camels!" Mom poked me on the shoulder and pointed. Sure enough, some people had arrived on camels. One of the camels seemed to be having a coughing fit. I guess he was thirsty too. The people riding the camels were tourists, and they looked very uncomfortable. They didn't seem to know what to do next. "Do you know how to get down?"